Welcome to If Numbers Could Talk. My name is Keelan. If Numbers Could Talk is a part of the Thinkering Group. You can find us over at thinkering.space. You can also find at Thinkering Space the Thinkering Talks podcast, the Exofathom podcast, along with the Plank Talks with Joe. When you get a chance, please check out our merchandise. We have merchandise on our website, thinkering.space, as well as merchandise at teespring.com/thinkering shop. Please visit, grab a t-shirt, grab a mug. We'll appreciate it. And when you do, feel free to let us know that you've decided to become a member of any of our fan clubs. Today's episode is pretty new. Of course, that's why it's the 39th episode. Welcome to If Numbers Could Talk. Today's episode is going to be about two players that have the number 34. Two very unique players, two players that really stood out in their eras. One retired and was a Hall of Famer before the other was even drafted. Both, from what I could find, are Nigerian, based on, their parents and ethnicity. However, one is, an ambassador for Africa and things of that nature, Basketball Africa League. And then the other is a Greek and plays for Team Greece. And it's an interesting conversation to have there about how that should go, because there's so many players across the world. But sometimes when you're trying to say like which, at this point, we've come so far. There's conversations and discussions we can have as far as which countries produce the best ball players. Sometimes we have to have a longer discussion with some people, but hey, I think it's very interesting to realize that the talent around the world has grown. And that's what this episode is going to be somewhat based upon. The growth, the expansion of basketball, how far we've gotten around the globe. Two players that stood out in their era so far. One still plays, and it's the National Basketball Association. They call it the World Championship. And when you got guys of this caliber, no matter where they went to high school or anywhere else, and it's Olympic time. So we have to look at it from there. Which countries will you play for in the Olympics? The games are only going to get more intense, guys. It's only going to get that much more competitive around the world, and that is the basis of where I got the inspiration for this episode. Everything that I was saying at the beginning to kind of culminate what this episode is about, and this may be my longest introduction yet. Welcome to If Numbers Could Talk. So the two players we are talking about is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon and Giannis the Greek Freak Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo was drafted in 2013 in the first round. He was the 15th pick. He went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I'll pause there for a moment. There are other notable players in this draft class. The only one that didn't go before Giannis, which was the 15th pick, was the 27th pick, Rudy Gobert. But CJ McCollum, Victor Oladipo, they went before him. They went before Giannis. And I want to say those are the only four really standout names from that draft class. Not the only players that you may know, but standouts, like all-stars at least. And actually, I think CJ McCollum's been an all-star. Then you have Giannis is 6'11", 242 pounds. He's been in the NBA for 8 years. The guy that we're leveling him up against, not comparing him to, not saying which one of these guys are better, is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, who was drafted as the first pick of the first round of 1984. Hakeem Olajuwon was listed at 7 foot, 255 pounds, and played 18 years in the NBA. So let's get started with the stats. And again, this is just, in my opinion, I look at Giannis and what he's doing now, and I look at what Hakeem has done as far as, bringing the dream shake and just everything, being Hakeem Olajuwon, really, right? And I say, wow, okay, I look at Giannis and there's a long way to go. He has at least 10 more years just to get to the same amount of time that Hakeem has played. And who knows what will be accomplished over that time period. And he may even play longer than 10 more years. But the statistics, Hakeem Olajuwon, the awards. He is a Hall of Famer. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in the year 2008. He has 2 NBA championships, one in 1994, one in 1995. He's a 3-time block champion, 2-time rebound champion, a 12-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA nominee, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, with 9 times being nominated to the All-Defensive Team, the 93-94 MVP, the 84-85 Rookie of the Year, and a 2 times Finals MVP in 94 and 95. In his last 2 games of his championship runs, Hakeem Olajuwon had the stat line in 1994 versus New York of 25 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. In the 1995 finals versus Orlando, he had the stat line of 35 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and no blocks. That is how the awards in the final games of his championships level out for Hakeem Olajuwon. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, he is a future Hall of Famer, I am almost sure. He has 1 NBA championship, winning the most recent NBA championship, in fact, last Tuesday in 2021. He is a 5-time All-Star, has been nominated to the All-NBA team 5 times, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-Defensive Team nominee. He was on the All-Rookie team of 2013-2014. In 2021, he was the All-Star MVP. He's a 2-time league MVP and has 1 Finals MVP of 2021. All of that being said, it was 2016-2017 season that Giannis was the most improved player of the NBA. That was only, 4 seasons ago now? 5 seasons? And he is now the Finals MVP and has a championship. In his last game of the NBA Finals, most recently, to win his first championship, Giannis had a stat line of 50 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, with no steals and 5 blocks for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, to win his first NBA championship. I think both of those award lines, just the award lines, these are great guys. Like, Hakeem is the mentor for the majority of the guys that you hear in the NBA today. And you got a guy like Giannis who, wow, right? Like, if you've seen him play, I think it's the same as when I was young, but I saw Hakeem play. And it was also the same. Like, it was almost like watching Shaq, but more agile. It was different, but you were as amazed is what I mean. All I'm saying is, I think we have a lot more that we are going to witness with Giannis. Hakeem Olajuwon, the Dream. The Dream played 1,238 NBA games and averaged 21.8 points, 11.1 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.7 steals with 3.1 blocks. He also had 3 turnovers and 3.5 personal fouls in each game, with a percentage of 51% from the field, 20% from the three-point line, and 71% from the free throw line. Well, this was a different era. Hakeem could definitely shoot the ball, but he wasn't much of a three-point shooter. That's just something today three-pointers is something everybody has to be able to shoot, except maybe like 2 pivotal guys, and one just won the finals MVP. So, hey. The Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, has played 589 games in his NBA career. He has averaged 20.9 points, 9.1 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 1.3 blocks, as well as 2.8 turnovers in every game with 3 personal fouls. He has had the percentages of 53% from the field while shooting 29% from the three-point line and 72% from the free throw line. Again, three-pointers are a thing of today, but not everybody is shooting them at a successful rate or really shooting them much at all. Giannis may not make threes, but he also doesn't shoot many of them, if we're being honest about the situation. Shoots more than some other guys, but hey, we're not covering them today. The totals in Hakeem the Dream's season, his regular season career, he scored 26,946 points, had 13,748 rebounds, 3,058 assists, with 2,162 steals. Hakeem also had 3,830 blocks, turned the ball over 3,667 times, and fouled at 4,383 personal fouls. However, he also, through his NBA career, in the regular season, had 14 triple-doubles for Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, who was a center. He was a center, and back then, you didn't have centers that had triple-doubles, because what was the third going to be? I mean, points and rebounds maybe, but assists? Not many guys were doing that. Hakeem was. And blocks, I mean, maybe, but I'd have to do more research that I didn't do for this episode for players who had a lot of blocks to get triple doubles. Maybe 1 or 2 guys through the history of the NBA we could find those. Giannis, the Greek Freaks, totals through the regular season. Through the regular season, Giannis has scored 12,319 points, had grabbed 5,371 rebounds with 2,632 assists, 692 steals, 765 blocks, 1,665 turnovers for Giannis so far, with 1,775 personal fouls. In the regular season, Giannis has also accumulated 25 triple-doubles in his 8 years. And if we're being honest, from the stats we're reading, really 5 years, right? From around that most improved player award, then it seems like he really caught on to what his game was and how to be successful. Now, we get to the playoffs. Those things that led to those rings. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon played 145 playoff games. In those playoff games, he averaged 25.9 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.7 steals with 3.3 blocks, 2.9 turnovers, and 3.9 personal fouls. He also had the percentages of 53% from the field, 22% from the three-point line, and 72% from the free throw line. His totals throughout the playoffs, he had 3,755 points, 1,621 rebounds, 458 assists, 245 steals with 472 blocks. Also in the playoffs, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon turned the ball over 424 times and committed 562 personal fouls. In his playoff career, Hakeem the Dream only had one triple-double. In his playoff career, that is. But then you get to Giannis, the Greek Freak. He's played 64 total playoff games so far, averaging 25.9 points, 11.6 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.4 blocks, while turning the ball over 3 times in every game and committing 3.2 personal fouls in his playoff career for 64 games. Giannis had the field goal percentage through the playoffs of 54%, 3-point field goal percentage of 27% in the playoffs, but the free throw percentage of 61%. That's right. He may have shot 72%, which seems somewhat decent when we're comparing him to Hakeem, but 61% is the reason that most people say that Giannis is a bad free throw shooter. I mean, can't shoot free throws or doesn't shoot them well. I don't know. Call it what you want to. It's a very interesting statistic when you consider how great he is and what he is able to accomplish. His totals, however, in the playoffs, in 64 games, Giannis has scored 1,655 points, grabbed 743 rebounds, had 316 assists, 70 steals, 88 blocks, with 192 turnovers, while also committing 207 fouls, personal fouls, for his 64 NBA playoff games. Giannis has only had one triple-double in his playoff career for the NBA. Now, again, this is simply showing a guy who, from around the globe, that set a different tone for his era, who was Hakeem, showing what he was able to accomplish in his 18 years, and where Giannis, a guy who's setting a different tone in this era that is currently going on, where does he stand when comparing him to a guy like Hakeem? I mean, it's not too far behind. If you ask me, it's like he set that guy as a goal and, man, right behind him. Right behind him strong. So that is today's episode. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon compared to the Greek Freak. 34. I also believe that is why Giannis has the number 34. Information I could not find clarity on, but I did look it up. But hey, listen, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I have a comment over here. Hey, it's our guy Nick. Nick says, yo, Nick, what's up? Appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, man, I absolutely just think this was a great build through, because you look at the numbers that Hakeem put down and you look at the numbers that Giannis is putting up, and that's not the comparison that most people are making. Most people are not making the comparison from him and Giannis, but that's the comparison that I've been making, is the Dream and the Freak. You know, it's pretty close. Hakeem can shoot a little better though, right? I know somebody's saying it out there. Probably had a little better handle too, but either way, both of these guys were and are clearly unstoppable for the time being. Maybe somebody figures it out. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Please tune in every Tuesday. We will have some episode of If Numbers Could Talk. Maybe it's going to be about sports. Maybe it's going to be back to movies and football, or, oh, that's a sport, right? Maybe it'll be something new, housekeeping or something. What's your house cleaner products cost? Who knows? But, you know, as you see, my wheels are spinning. So I'm definitely working on some new things and different things for you guys. Please go on over to the Thinker and Talks page on Facebook. And over there, you can definitely check out all of the things we have going on. We have the Exofathom podcast, which is hosted by our guy, Nick. Ayla and Mike comes on at 8 p.m. on Mondays and Fridays. You can also check out the Screen Time Continuum, which comes on also 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays. And you can also go over to Twitch, check out Strawberries and Coffee. Our guy Dejan, he has some really cool things going on over there, showing you some new games. He also posts those over to YouTube, and all of us have YouTube pages as well. So please, as well, type in all of those exact same names over on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, whichever, subscribe. You can also find some of our IG pages, follow those, tune in for any upcoming things we have. We're trying to get better at updating you guys as we go along. And please let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to hear us discuss on our different shows. As you notice, I didn't really give you a background on what those shows are today. That's because I want you to go and see what we do. And I appreciate you. I honestly, honestly do. Just changing things up to see what it is that you guys are doing and how you guys fare with these things. Some of these suggestions have come in, and I'm just trying to figure out how to apply them. I appreciate you guys. If you like, come on back down on the Thinker and Talks page tonight. There should be a post for you. That post is going to take you to Strawberries and Coffee over on Twitch. And hey, if you don't see the post, still type it in. Strawberries and Coffee on Twitch. That's going to be up at 10 p.m. And Deshaun's been playing some really cool games, man. I'm usually tuned in as well. So see you guys then, and we really appreciate you. Have a great night, guys.